New from Deaf Crocodile is Freckled Max and the Spooks, a 1987 film of sorts. This is a recut of a 7-part, 7-hour series that was made in the mid-80s based on the book Frankenstein's Aunt. And because it's a recut of those 7 hours to create a sort of one cohesive story, it's not that cohesive at times. There is a kind of strange oddity to Freckled Max and the Spooks, where the disjointed nature of it actually adds to the enjoyment of the film. Now, it feels very much like a spiritual successor to The Monsters, as in it's a comedy with wacky characters. It's painting these monsters as something more than horrible creatures. In fact, all the characters within this film are kind of sad, lonely people looking for love.
Čo tam pokráse, Igor? Ale tá jeho sila nás zachráni.
Funguje.
It starts with Max, who is a young boy who is used at a circus for pretty much doing all the chores and work. He escapes, runs away to a castle, and discovers Frankenstein working on his latest creation, the monster. And within it you have Dracula, you have various monsters throughout it, but they are all friendly. They're all nice. They're all kind of loving creatures.
Čo ten tu vystrája? Nivočí naše mesto! Ale nie. Ja som sa chcel iba zapáčiť. Verte.
And it's a really kind of interesting take. We kind of follow our Frankenstein creature when he is just looking for love, and his antics it takes him throughout the town and kind of embedding himself within to the society who initially reject him, trying to find that one partner that will reciprocate his love back to him. And it's this kind of nature of the film is where it becomes inconsistent, because it's always jumping back and forward to other characters to integrate them into the storyline, but they never really have story arcs throughout it. You have that one main arc of the Frankenstein creature trying to find love, but other than that, the characters seem almost to weave in and out of this story without a purpose. But it's not a complete failure. It's interesting. I would have loved to have this set, have the movie, and then the whole series on it as well. Something that I could have delved into and watched all episodes of it. Then I could have jumped between it. Looking at the series, looking at the movie as a separate, because I feel like there is a lot here that is probably cut out. I enjoy the characters. I love the situational comedy that we have. I love the place and the world building that we have. It feels very much like a mysterious castle in the Carpathians and has that tongue-in-cheek nature about it.
Chcel som ho trochu poučiť o svete, dať mu niečo zo svojich skúseností, ale ona ho poslala do knižnice. Ako by sa z kníh dalo naučiť žiť.
It has this wonderful production value and these wonderful vista shots of mountain ranges of the castle. It has these great characters of the townsfolk that are integrated in with the monsters throughout it, but who themselves turn out to be more monstrous than these horrific looking creatures. The idea of Max, I really kind of enjoyed this story because it's all coming from his point of view, but for large parts of the movie he kind of takes a step back and he's not really present within the film, and I'm wondering what his nature is. But as the film goes on, you realise it's just a sort of blip in his life, a small moment of great characters coming together and creating a wonderful family environment.
Ponúkla ti už niekedy žena svoje pery?
Moja mama. Ale potom veľmi rýchlo zmizla.
I do love the thematic of the fact that these are hideous, crazy monsters that are perceived that way by the townsfolk that are just lonely and desperate for a little bit of love and affection. It's an interesting idea, one that's been tackled before, but I feel like it's kind of delivered here in a comedic sense that really adds a little bit more impact to it. I can understand the disjointed nature of the film due to the fact that it's been put together from a 7-hour series. But I kind of liked it. I kind of liked the fact that it had these characters and it creates these situations, and sometimes it feels a little bit lost in its own world. But it makes me want more. Like, I wanted to go and watch the 7-part series after this, which is a good thing. Interesting release from Deaf Crocodile. I would say check out the trailers, read some of the reviews, and make up your mind on this one, whether you're going to pick it up or not. It is different than some of the other stuff, but yet somehow similar. I liked it. I'm not sure how the greater group of people out there will like it, but if you're into Deaf Crocodile and you know the kind of great things that they release, I think you'll probably be on the side of liking it more than not. I'd love to know your thoughts on the film if you've seen it, so let me know in the comment box below, and let everybody else know your thoughts and whether this is something that's worth picking up or not. Now let's dive into the disc and have a look at the extras. Here we are in the disc for Freckled Max and the Spooks. Let's go to the extras. First up, we have a commentary by Sam Deacon. We have a new interview with Ratislav Steranka, the director of National Cinematographic Centre and Slovak Film Institute, discusses the history of Slovak cinema and the films of Juraj Jakubisko. This runs at 17 minutes 6 seconds. He talks a lot about preserving film, a lot about Slovak film, how he became interested in it, the new kind of digitising of films, and his pride in getting these out into the world. Next, we have a new interview with Petra Galkova. Assistant director Petra Galkova discusses her career and the memories of shooting Freckled Max and the Spooks. This runs for 17 minutes 54 seconds. Again, a brief history of her career, how she got to the moment where she started working with the director and on this series, and her thoughts and feelings about the series, which ultimately became this film. Next, we have a new interview with Jan Duris. Director of photography, Jan Duris discusses his career and working with Juraj Jakubisko, and this runs at 26 minutes 40 seconds. Similar format to the other interviews we've had so far. We get a little bit of a history of his career, what led him to this film, working with the director, the kind of adaptation process here, the collaboration process of how they come up with some of the sequences in this film. Next, we have Portrait of a Film Director, filming on a branch I Am Fine, which is 42 minutes, and this is probably my favourite extra on the disc. Beautiful and moving portrait of the great Slovak director and how his own life story is interwoven within his films. Shot during the making of Sitting on a Branch I Am Fine and featuring interviews with Jakubisko and the legendary Federico Fellini. It's from 1989. I love this. This was a wonderful extra. I could have watched something twice, 3 times as long as what it was. I loved the way it was shot and intercut, how it felt like a fly on the wall, how it felt intimate at certain times, just watching the director shoot this film and having him sort of talk to us about it and his career and some of the other people that turn up as well. Next, we have 3 encounters, film about film, a fascinating behind the scenes looking at the making of Frankenstein's Arch miniseries, and the Freckled Max feature film. Now this is quick at 4 minutes 43 seconds, and it's kind of a promotional piece, talking over various images and just trying to get people hyped for the film or series. Then we have Frankenstein's Faster, the novel that became Freckled Max, a new visual essay by film professor Will Dodson and Ryan Verrill. Also included in this set is a 58-page booklet that has 2 essays on it, one by Walter Shaw and Stitched Together from Pieces of the Dead, an autopsy of Freckled Max and the Spooks by Stephen Perros, where he kind of looks at the history of horror, this type of horror set in the castle, the staples of universal horror, how that plays into it, and the adaptation for this itself, and what eventually became Freckled Max. That's the extras for Freckled Max and the Spooks. So there we have it. Freckled Max and the Spooks is out now. It's one to, possibly pick up. If you like the mysterious Castle in the Carpathians, you're probably going to like this one. If you like the monsters and things like that, and you're probably going to find some enjoyment here. And I'd love to know your thoughts once you've seen it, or if you're going to check it out. As always, there's more content up here. You can see more of my stuff in the description box below, links to Patreon, membership program, manvfilm.com, always, in which you can support me. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.